Record. Okay, welcome to another edition of TedTV. We've been going for about an hour now. We've exhausted the topics, and so now we're gonna. No, just kidding. I'm gonna make a phone call. I gotta go call someone who's interested in what I'm doing, and I'm gonna leave you here with Scarlett. Okay, you two play nicely.
Of course. Ted is going out as we speak to call back. I believe his name is Brian Franklin, who owns a number of websites. In the TED 10, once you start saying the name Ted, you just can't stop saying it. In the 10 short days that Ted has been doing TedTV, and you have to understand what TedTV is. It's really like a rolling studio he's put together. He puts all of his musical instruments, a beautiful Oriental rug, his acoustic guitar, his amp, and Cush together in a shopping cart together with this notebook, and his webcam, and he just records everything. And I've been telling him for a few days now I was going to come down and interview him. And earlier we were discussing the various places we'd like to go, like New Orleans, where we both been, not together, not at the same time, but we both would like to go back to because it celebrates art in much the same way that Venice does. So we'd like to go there together to do some live streaming from there. Now let's see. We've got a number of viewers. Ted actually has viewers in Sweden, if you can believe it. He has viewers all across the country and as well as overseas. And that just says to me the appeal of what he's doing. It's just so off the cuff. It's not edited. It's not airbrushed. It's imperfect. And that's life. It's not take two. It's not editing together a storyline out of a bunch of people living in a house. It's just a guy going along, talking to people, living his life. Let's see. Oh gosh, in the next couple of weeks it's going to be rough for me because it's my birthday. And when you're a woman, you get to a certain age where you just don't want any more birthdays. But that's cool. It's all fine and good. I've got two gorgeous, talented daughters who we discussed earlier on the show. My beautifully brilliant, talented ballet dancer daughter, Daphne, who is also a piano player, a guitar player, a writer. When she was 8 years old, she wrote, produced, and starred in a play called Letters to My Daddy in Vietnam. And that was the matinee show to an evening show that I was doing called She Blank and Hates Me, a Love Story. And there, on 2 different occasions, the matinee performance outsold the evening performance, so that was pretty cool. She's been dancing since she was 3. She just got back from Nutmeg School of Ballet, which is basically where you go to study ballet if you were a hardcore ballet student. And the great thing about Daphne is it was a really hard experience, but she loves stuff like she loves challenges. That's who she is. And then my youngest, who just turned 7 a few weeks ago, little baby girl. Yeah. She's my artist. She's a visual artist. We showed you the picture that she drew a little while ago. She works with computer generated programs to make art. Gosh, when your kids are smarter than you, that's kind of a thing. So I'm gonna take this minute to check my text messages. Speaking of that, because my agent is looking at a story that my daughter is. So, Daphne, did you get my text? Not that I'm a stage mom, because I'm not. It's really hard, especially in Los Angeles, to keep your kids out of the business. Everywhere Jessica and I would go, because Jessica's an extraordinarily beautiful little girl, people would throw their modeling cards. They wanted to represent her, but she was 6 at the time. Let's wait a few minutes before we put her to work. Daphne, did you get my text? Text about. So, when I first came out here, I had ditched my East Coast representation because I was not happy with them. And I spent about, I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks turning a book, one of my plays, into a novel, a young adult novel. And then I sent it out to, I'm going to say 10 different agents. And out of the 10, I heard back from 9. Out of the 9, I got 6 offers of representation. I don't ever expect to get that kind of response again in my life. Just to put a little bit in perspective, the last time I was looking for representation, I sent out 75 packages. I think I heard back from 4, and out of that I got 1 offer of representation. So I don't ever expect to get that much interest in a project ever. And so my agent and I are working on several projects. He has 3 different books of mine, 2 YAs and a chick lit. And right now it's a great time to be in the publishing world because there's so many avenues open to you. It's not just writing things and hoping to God other people will publish them. You can put things up on the net. You can e-publish. You can show these people that you can actually write. And more importantly, that people are interested in what you're writing. There's a girl, a friend of mine, Jen England, on LinkedIn. She wrote an amazing first novel, Forever Blue, that and she couldn't find a publisher for it, so she threw up it as an ebook. And once it was proven that people would pay money for it, now it's going to be published in hardcover, soft cover. It's going to be published in print, put it that way. So, and not so many years ago, we didn't have those options. It's a beautiful day here in Venice Beach. That's something else I think about quite often, is that I lived on the East Coast most of my life in the New Hampshire or Maine area, and now I'm living in California. And when you think about it, there are many people in this country who never get to see one ocean, and I've lived on both. So I feel pretty privileged. And I don't know if it's climate or just how you get programmed, but I get very claustrophobic if I live in an area where I can't see the ocean. I lived in upper New York State for 3 or 4 months in my early 20s, and I got really nervous. It just made me feel claustrophobic that I couldn't get to the ocean quickly if I needed to. I don't know why. I just did. So I'm sitting here on the talking stick, waiting for the mighty Ted to return. Mighty TedTV. I would say, other than New York City, Venice probably has more just artists. I mean, you could walk down the street and just see people, either playing or talking or that sort of, all kinds of art, visual art, and it's not something you just, I don't know, it's real privilege to be here, which is why Ted fits in so good. It is a warm day here in Venice Beach. Ted's gonna come back in just a second, and we're gonna end segment 6. Coming right back.